Folks, are we there? Finally? Jim.
Hi.
Welcome. Sorry we're a little late. There was some storage issues on recording. So again, we are learning. My name's Dale and this is Jim. So today, folks, on this episode, California's going crazy again. Absolutely going crazy. And we're going to tell you all about that. Also, an AI nightmare for a 14-year-old. We're going to go into some details about that. There's growing concerns among the senior aides in Biden's camp about the upcoming election, hence why they're hiding them away at Camp David in a bunker, juicing them up with whatever. That plus a lot of illegals and information and what Biden administration is not doing about it at all on our first real episode on the Patriots Prayer Podcast Network of what, Jim?
That would be two guys.
Yeah, it would.
One coup.
Be right back.
Welcome to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast with Dale and Jim, where the truth matters and progressives' feelings don't. We bring you the facts from the perspective of two average, everyday guys who will never apologize for being America first, for adhering to our great Constitution, and for saluting the flag that our brothers and sisters have fought and died for. And now, here's Dale and Jim.
Well, that started off terribly, didn't it, Jim? For us? Boy, I'm telling you.
We're working through this stuff. We're the recording, folks. If you didn't know, we have to record at the same time. So it wasn't allowing us to do that. So anyway.
It is what it is. Right on time at 9:46 for our 9:30 a.m. show.
Perfectly.
Yeah, Jim. Lots of craziness. Go on.
For those of you that are watching, please comment. Please send us some comments.
Really.
Questions.
Hit those stars, anything, like the show.
Hit the stars, definitely.
Yeah. I want to start off again because this is our first show. We had one last week, earlier in the week, which was kind of foobarred a little bit. Unlike this beginning of this one.
So hopefully this isn't foobarred. Hopefully it's recording.
Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's working. At any rate, we're here. I want to first of all then welcome everybody to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast. If you're not familiar with us, my name's Dale. That's Jim. Briefly, we are just two average, hardworking, middle-class Americans who are really taking it up the rear with this Biden administration.
No.
Some, Jim, literally maybe, but mostly
in general.
Yeah, that's kind of general. But it really, really, folks. I mean, we feel it just like all of you out there feel it. God bless the rich. Thank God for them. They create all the jobs. But you listen to the Joy Behars and you listen to those buffoons out there, and they just don't feel the pinch like we all do. They don't care. They don't care that eggs go up. They don't care what gas costs. They don't care that the mortgage rates are skyrocketing.
But they are worried that if President Trump gets elected, he'll take them off the air.
It's a threat to democracy.
Yeah. And
never once they mention a republic, but they always mention democracy.
When they mentioned that Trump would take them off the air, there was some jokes going around that said Trump just gained another 20 million votes.
I know. It's everything. Yeah. I thought they were trying to dissuade the voters from voting for Trump, but instead, this is what they're doing. And I also right away want to thank the Patriots Prayer Podcast and Eddie and Maurice for allowing us to join their family and broadcast to all of you out there. It's a true honor for us. And let me tell you, it's very exciting news. Very exciting news. Thank you to all the listeners as well that made all that possible, that have come over from our other platform over to the Patriots Prayer channel. Again, the links are below. This is where you can see and watch live and also watch the recording. We hope, Jim. later. Fingers crossed. We'll figure it out one way or the other. Jim, as we've gone through the entire month of June, it's Pride Month.
Yeah, got to honor it.
Yeah, let's celebrate it in the only way. This is really cool. The Babylon Bee has for those of you not familiar with the Babylon Bee, yeah, they're just absolutely my go-to.
Check them out.
Really, for everything. Yeah, the whole gender queer books and everything that are in the school systems that all the left says isn't happening whatsoever at all.
Basically porn.
Basically porn in schools.
For children.
Well, they've done a little spoof on that. You want to see that, Jimmy?
Yes, I do, actually.
Hold on.
Confused by all these new genders of the New World Order? Sounds like you need the Babylon Bee Guide to Gender. Finally learn, what is a woman? What is a man if you care about that? A guide to those confusing pronouns. All 437 other genders, how to create your own gender, a guide to flags, pride, and so much more. The Babylon Bee Guide to Gender will take you on a journey from the original gangster genders, male and female, to all 437 new genders. Now available on Amazon. Get your copy today.
You actually can get that, folks. You can get that book.
And trust me, when you see the different numbers of genders, you need that book. I mean,
can't keep up with them. Cannot keep up with them. The Babylon Bee, amazing. The original gangster genders, male and female. All other 432 genders.
How dare us?
Mm-hmm. Jim, it's going to seem like a weird intro to Pride. But, Putin met with Kim Jong-un in North Korea. Or they met, not North Korea, but of North Korea. And they've got this little pact going. I mean, nothing to see here, nothing to worry about. That would have happened under Trump, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they see a weak president in the potato in chief, and this is what they do. And that's what other nations are doing. All the while, this weirdo shows up to the White House, Jim.
Oh, I know what you're going to do.
Do you? Do you know what I'm going to do?
I know for a fact.
Look how pretty. What? 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 You're on mute, Jim. You were on mute.
I know, but I didn't say anything, but it's that's future Miss Washington D.C. right there.
That is, for those who care, Jonathan Van Ness of Queer Eye for a Straight. It's fine. Have a show. Do whatever you want. Yeah, the point is, our leadership, this is what they're concerned with.
Yeah. Did you see him at the podium?
This is their base. Huh?
Taking questions at the podium and all that stuff.
Yeah. This is their base. This is what they do. And so, it's a little frightening, Jim. It's all I've got for Pride. I've got nothing else, Jim. Absolutely nothing else I want to talk about far as that goes. But the point is, our leadership is focused on the world's falling around the alphabet agenda, and while the world's burning around them, including our own cities and streets, in this nation. So.
And we do have a new to go with that, just to let you know that's what they're concerned about. But if there's a new Commerce Department report shows consumers are seriously struggling, barely hanging on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So matter. That's important.
That's important. Mm-hmm.
That food is increased. Gas has gone up. Families are suffering. They're deciding what to do, how to do it.
Yeah.
But let's do all these other things that
correct.
America suffer.
So. Yeah, this is unbelievable, actually. Jim, a lot of deep fakes going out there of Joe Biden, apparently. So says the White House and everybody else, in the administration. Yeah, none of it.
We got a couple videos that you tell us if it's deep fake.
None of it true. Well, I've got one that is deep faked. Well, here you go.
I've got one that isn't.
You've got one that isn't. We'll do mine first, Jim. Let's go.
Oh, I'm a failure because I haven't got a brain.
Well, what would you do with a brain if you had one?
Do? Why, if I had a brain, I could
concentrate for hours, my presidential powers to compensate Ukraine for squashing my indictment. Just imagine my excitement if I only had a brain. My son who's crack addicted, and I should be convicted for crimes we can't explain. To avoid repercussions, I could pin it on the Russians if I only had a brain.
This is great.
Oh, I with the rise, inflation's on the rise. I'd admit we weaponized the FBI, and then I'd quit and run and hide. We stole the last election, there was no insurrection, the left has gone insane. I'd concede I'm a loser and Pelosi is a boozer if I only had a brain. I would not be just a pedo, an old perverted weirdo, a legacy of shame. Taking showers with my daughter, a molester underwater, if I only had a brain.
A molester underwater.
He's just disturbing as hell.
It's disturbing when so again, folks, some of that.
How do we verify that was deep?
Him looking like the scarecrow was deep.
How do you verify that? I mean, it could have been Halloween. He could have been dressed.
He could have been. It's true. That might not have been a deep fake.
Oh no.
You know? Yeah. That sums up the Biden administration in a nutshell. But
well, you know
what you got showing.
Well, we always talk about
video.
the deep fake, right? Now, there's other. I'm sure people have seen this one, but you know, this was not deep fake. This was not. You know, there's no way around it. We've seen him stumble upstairs and all. You know, all these different things, and he's a sick man. I mean, he is, and then other people should be ashamed that have him out there and just using him. Okay, correct. And we know you knew, and I talked about this how long before he's no longer president. Yep. I don't think he survives more than 6 months after that.
Correct.
But here's just a quick video. It's 24 seconds. So tell us if MSNBC is correct by this man plays chess while Trump plays Hungry Hippos.
Unreal.
My 82 year old mother, sorry mom, she gets in the vehicle faster than that, and she has a leg that just doesn't bend as well as it used to.
Correct.
She gets in a lot quicker than that.
Correct.
So
anyway, so do my parents.
But it's all deep fake stuff, folks. It's all deep fake stuff.
It's all deep fake. I mean, that is really the whole it's almost amazing to me that they can spew that out. They seem, and they're still doing it, by the way. They're still doing it. They're still spewing out that nonsense. It doesn't make sense to me, but that's what they're doing. And so, it's just crazy. Jim, let's get into some before we get into like some of the stories. Excuse me, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Is that?
Yeah. Just looking here on the side. Jim, what happened to all my videos and stuff?
Do you want me to click them?
Got it.
Got them.
Learning, folks. Thank you for joining with us. The illegal activity around this country is just out of control. And recently, I mean, we had just found out that a couple things. First of all, the Biden family won't say whether they're going to contact the Maryland mother who was killed by the illegal Rachel Morin.
Right.
Say her name, people. Rachel Morin, mother of 5 in Maryland. So when I see the queer eye straight guy dude showing up at the White House and in person, is Laken Riley's family been there? Have they been invited to the White House at all? Has anybody? They can't even call the family of Rachel Morin's, and yet they'll have this guy, whatever he is, at the White House in person. All the while, families are suffering out there and being killed by this illegal activity that they should be held criminally responsible for. Accessories to every single one of these crimes. We've said it before. We'll say it again, Jim. Joe Biden, Alejandro Mayorkas, Merrick Garland.
Yep.
Those three right off the top of the bat. Treasonous and should be held accountable for these crimes.
Right.
When will that happen? Enough's enough. It won't happen under this DOJ, and I get that.
Right.
And I don't want to hear another set in hearing about it.
Yeah, I'm tired of those.
The shit's got to stop.
Yeah,
it has to stop.
Right.
So you have that. Did you hear about the illegal immigrants who kidnapped the Indiana teen? It's right there in your home state. 5 illegal immigrants were arrested in Missouri early Monday for allegedly kidnapping a teen girl in Indiana. Officers with the Missouri State Highway Patrol were alerted around 2 a.m. June 17th that a 14-year-old girl was reported missing from Cass County, Indiana. Am I saying that right? Where's Cass County? Do you have an idea? Or like Southern?
I've heard of it.
I believe it's Southern.
I believe it's Southern Indiana. It's the southern part. Yeah.
The girl's father had witnessed the girl enter a vehicle later determined to be a black Dodge Durango with an unknown registration. According to the court documents, the father reported the incident to Logansport Police Department. The Cass County Sheriff's Office notified troopers that the missing girl's cell phone had been pinged from the suspect's vehicle with a Texas registration as it was traveling westbound on US 36 near Hannibal, Missouri. A Missouri state trooper spotted the SUV that matched the description. A short while later stopped it. The trooper found the girl in the back of the SUV. All 5 men in the car were arrested and booked into the Macon County Jail. The suspects are as follows. Here comes 5 names I'm going to completely screw up. Marlon Aguilar, that was pretty good, 44, of Honduras. Arturo Estequeo, 41, of Mexico. Noah Guzman Hernandez, 24, of Mexico. Daniel Ruiz Lopez, 19, of Mexico. And Carlos Funes, 56, of Honduras. We're all here illegally under Joe Biden's policies.
From 2 different nations they met.
From 2 different nations. They just met up and they're like, hey, we're buddies. We're buddies now. Let's go kidnap. I mean, they are human trafficking, the drug trafficking in itself.
And let's face it, this 14-year-old girl was heading for, in my opinion, to be sex trafficked.
Sex trafficked, without a doubt. Absolutely 100% without a doubt. And that's the kind of thing that's going on in this country. And I don't understand. How they cannot be held liable. And I don't understand. It's one thing that we need votes, right? We stole the 2020 election. We need votes for 2020. There's no way we can win legally, nor did they, we believe. But at the same respect, how does this kind of story, how do these things happening make them think for 1 minute that the majority of the population is okay with open borders? We know they're not by polls.
Well, I mean, how many people on Truth Be Told are really hearing about it? Because if you watch MSNBC, CNN, and all those different NPRs, they don't talk about the border. They don't talk about how crime has risen because of this. How
agreed.
And you and I said the last show, and we've been saying it since day one. There's only one reason these borders are porous and they're flowing in. And no, it's not the Republicans' fault because they won't give them more money. That has nothing to do with it from what the administration is saying. What it is, they need voters. It's plain and simple. There is no other way around this, identifying why they're allowing all this crime to happen, all this money to go towards these illegals. Here we are.
And they're not even worried, Jim.
No,
they're not even worried about the fact that the rest of the country, the majority of the country, is not okay with these policies.
Do you want to, real quick, to see what migrant shelters in Massachusetts are like?
I do.
Okay.
Show me those.
Here we go, folks.
What's up, guys? This is Savannah Hernandez, and I have stumbled upon one of the hotels that is being used to shelter migrants here in Massachusetts. Now, I've been wanting to cover the Boston migrant crisis, and one of the things that was interesting about it was the fact that the migrants are not very apparent in Boston. You're not going to see them on the street like you would in New York, and I realized that's because they are busing a lot of these migrants or transporting them throughout various cities and towns in Massachusetts. So, for example, we're in Dedham right now, which is about 30 minutes outside of Boston. Again, you guys can see this hotel. It was a former Fairfield Inn, and it is now being used to house migrants. And I was doing some research as well into how much these hotel rooms are going for, and they're going for $5,400 per month. So these migrants staying here, $5,400 per month, taxpayers paying upwards of or almost $9 million to house migrants in this location. I was even reading some reviews online about how people had booked at this hotel and then their reservations were just canceled, and they were told it's because migrants are now being housed here. And as you guys can see, there is quite a few of them out here kind of just hanging out. A couple of them have cars. $5,400 for these rooms. We talked to some of them, and they were saying that the rooms are small, they're not getting enough bedding, they're not getting enough resources, they don't like the food. So this is one example of what's happening here in Massachusetts. Norfolk, another good example of how these migrants that you might see at the Logan Airport are being shipped throughout the state. So in Norfolk, that's a town of a little over 11,000 people, and they have 450 migrants coming their way. So again, that's how they're kind of keeping this crisis a little bit more under wraps, as opposed to what you might see in New York, where the migrants are all sleeping on the street. They're busing them to all of these other little areas.
Unbelievable. And Democrat ran Massachusetts.
Yep.
Of course. That's what it's going to take out there, is for people to expose them like this. And
the
shows
money,
like ours and
the
Patriots
money
Prayer
is
and everybody
insane.
else. The money's insane to show those.
Just think how
videos.
much more money this administration could give to the Ukraine if they weren't giving money to the
It's sad. It's super sad. Last illegal story before our first commercial break, Jim. Houston girl 12 strangled to death by Venezuelan illegal immigrants who were caught and released by Biden's border agents on May 28th. The other in March of this year. A young Houston girl 12 was brutally killed, and two alleged illegal immigrants from Venezuela. So now we've got Mexico, Honduras, Venezuela. We know it's Guatemala. We know it's China. We know where they're coming from. She died by strangulation, and her body was found dumped in a creek earlier this week. They give the two names of the assholes who did it, and I'm not going to say it. I shouldn't have read the other five either, but I wanted to make the point of where they were from. Have been arrested on capital murder charges over the killing of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungary, according to the Houston Police Department. When pressed about reports that the two suspects are Venezuelan nationals, police declined to comment and said their legal status is still under review as of Thursday. We call BS on this. Department of Homeland Security sources told the New York Post that one of them allegedly entered the U.S. on May 28th through El Paso, Texas, and was quickly released by border agents. Ramos reportedly told authorities that he planned to live with his cousin in Houston before his court appearance in July. The victim's boyfriend, also 13, told investigators that he was talking to Jocelyn on the phone after she snuck out of her parents' apartment on Sunday night. He told authorities he could hear Jocelyn talking to two men over the phone while at a convenience store. Police said Martinez and Ramos were at a restaurant and then were spotted on surveillance video walking southbound. They were later captured on video having a meeting with Nungary. So it was all on like the CCTV footage. Yeah, unbelievable that this is happening, Jim. Again, Joe Biden, Mayorkas, Garland, accessories to these crimes, imprisonment. This is their open border policies that are killing youth, killing mothers, killing brothers, sisters, daughters across this country. And yes, we get it, Jim. not only are illegals killing people, but the lives that could be saved by simply just shutting the damn doors to our border, simply going back to the Trump era border policies, would have saved all of these lives. Every single one of them.
Mayorkas bragged about getting rid of all the Trump policies when he was in office. They all bragged about it. They bragged about how, this is great, all that. And then they basically said, come on in.
Correct. Come on in. First day one.
Which, folks, they need voters because there's no other reason why Mayorkas is completely ignoring this crisis. They're blaming the Republicans because there's now money that's going. It's
not a money issue.
What the President Trump's policies were. Build the wall. I mean, look how much money we're spending on these illegals just in Massachusetts, $9 million.
Yep.
They wouldn't give President Trump, the Democrats wouldn't give President Trump money to build the wall.
Correct.
Wall could have been built. Could have been electrified.
Oh, at least could have been electric. Could have been everything. Yeah. I mean, no doubt. All the money that went to Ukraine, all the money that they piss away on these pork projects and everything else that they're doing, their social justice projects could have been used to protect these lives. This is insane. Jim, let's move on. You like coffee?
Love coffee.
I love coffee. If you do, you're going to love this. Let's hear from a word from our sponsor. Jim, you take it away.
Born in the coastal plains of South Texas, Smoking Gun Coffee is founded by combat veterans that know exactly what a cup of coffee needs to taste like. Run by father and son, each coffee bean is perfected, roasted at 500 degrees, and cooled with a Gulf Coast breeze. Smoking Gun Coffee hand makes and bags each ounce of coffee for maximum customer satisfaction. With every purchase, 10% goes back to organizations that help veterans and local communities. That's Texas made, one bag at a time. To find out more, go to www.smokingguncoffee.com.
10% goes back to veterans in the community.
Remember that is smokingguncoffee.com. Go out and check it out.
Yep. I think the Patriots Prayer, Eddie and them, I think they're working with Smoking Gun Coffee on a coffee club.
Yep.
Which would be phenomenal, as I used my last bit of coffee for this show. And I'm like, where's the rest of the coffee? If I was in a coffee club, I'd have it delivered every week. Anyway, Smoking Gun Coffee, support them. What a great company. And 10% goes to the...
Love it when you help veteran organizations. Love it.
Yep. Love it. Absolutely. Those are patriots we have to support.
Hey, Dale, Jim, I know a lot of people out there are upset with polls because we see them all the time. Now we see polls that now Biden has
never trust
up
polls.
all the Trump's lead. Yeah, we don't trust.
Yeah, I don't trust.
We never do. However,
I trusted them in 2022.
I do like to hear specific polls. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
An Emerson poll just came out. The first one Emerson has done since the conviction, like air quotes, the conviction.
I get it now.
Yeah. Former President Donald Trump continues to lead President Joe Biden in key swing states, according to a new poll from Emerson College Polling The Hill. In Arizona, Trump leads 47-43. Okay. In 2020, supposedly, Biden defeated Trump 49.36 to 49.06.
Wow.
Supposedly. But anyway.
Supposedly.
In Georgia, Trump
Hey, everybody, my
Biden.
mom's calling, by the way. So
in Georgia, Trump leads Biden 45-41. Okay. In Georgia, Biden defeated Trump 49.47 to 49.24. You noticing these numbers? Anyway.
Oh, I am. Yeah.
In Wisconsin, Trump leads Biden 47 to 44%. And of course, Biden defeated Trump 49.45 to 48.42. In Nevada, Trump leads Biden 46-43. In 2020, Biden defeated Trump 50-47. In Pennsylvania, Trump leads Biden 47-45. And how many different polls have we seen come out where Biden leads Trump by 2 points? This is why polls, you have to be careful. You have to look at it. But folks, this is the one I want to point out. Okay? This is the one I want to point out. In Minnesota, Trump and Biden are tied.
That's Minnesota.
Frank Luntz, who, if anybody watches Fox News, he does those,
kind of
on
putz,
automatic polls and stuff that he just does. He's very good at that kind of stuff. He says the Democrats they're not paying attention to Minnesota.
Correct.
Because, folks, this is a dead tie right now in a polling.
In Minnesota.
Which is one of the reasons I wanted to bring it up. Because this is Minnesota.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
the only state Mondale took back against Reagan.
Right. Is it gonna last? I don't know. I really don't. Yeah. I have no idea. But we know what the Democrats are planning.
We do.
Just need to try to prevent that from happening. But anyway, these are numbers that are come out that are interesting.
They are.
The polls can be interesting. But you and I, since 2022, and actually 2020, we just don't pay attention to polls much anymore because, most of the time you go to a conservative, or somebody who's on kind of leans right a little bit, it's probably not going to tell you.
It's probably not.
Nope. It's none of your damn business.
Exactly. I want to acknowledge though, there Maxwell put Germany reported Trump as the leader all the way into the early morning on their news. Then all of a sudden, in 2020, that is exactly right. Thank you for the comment, by the way, Maxwell. We appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. Germany called him the winner. He was the winner when we all went to bed, right?
Right.
In 2020, we know this. And Germany actually called it and woke up and our borders are open. The pipelines are shut down. The economy's gone to hell, and
you need to take out a small loan for a dozen eggs.
Yes, you do. Second mortgage just to buy, to buy milk.
Great. Just ask Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg.
Yep, that's right.
We're just not paying attention.
Exactly. Not only them, a few other countries as well, but that's the one I personally heard of. Us too, Maxwell. That's the one that I actually saw video footage of it. Yeah, thank you for commenting. It's exactly true. Polls matter.
And all these individuals out there that are sitting there saying that there was no cheating in the 2020 election and all that stuff, stop. There's enough evidence out there in Georgia, in Pennsylvania alone, that shows something happened. So knock it off, stop it. It happened. But my favorite one now are the ones who said that, cheating never happened. Cheating never did this. My favorite part now is pay attention to how they say things, because now they're saying, oh, there's cheating at every election.
That's it. There wasn't mass, right? There wasn't mass voter fraud is the wording that they use. And that's because it happened in about 12 cities, right? Literally about 8 counties. But that's not mass to them. Although they stuffed let me tell you this, president, it was quite literally a 5-minute difference of him winning to him losing, but it was a crap ton of vote difference. Correct. Correct. Absolutely right. I lost my train of thought. Why? Nope. I got it. You mean to tell me in 2020 that he gained about 14 million votes, Trump did? Yeah. The incumbent gained 14 million votes and lost the election. So many firsts that happened in 2020 in our nation's history. We did it at 10 o'clock Eastern time. Joe Biden had, this is not untrue, like a 1 in quadrillion chance of winning that election. We've gone over this.
So you say there's a chance.
1 in quadrillion. What's a quadrillion? I don't know. 4 trillions.
No
I don't. I'm probably wrong about
4?
that.
I don't know.
No clue. A lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
1 in quadrillion.
Insane.
And they play us as if we're fools, right? So that's why it's super important to not only just vote, folks, and you can early vote too. If that is part of the campaign, strategy is to when you're allowed to early vote. I always hate mailing it in because I about trust the post office about as far as I can throw them. I mean, literally, just a brief example, non-political story. My parents stayed with us for about 10 months. His ID expired while he was here. They got a new one, shipped it from Ohio down to Florida. Well, it left Ohio on May 27th. It went to San Francisco, then to Memphis.
That's a typical route.
Then to Dallas, then to my home in Florida. I got it yesterday. They shipped it out May 28th. I got it yesterday.
How many illegal buses were going? Maybe they just handed it to them and they were doing it.
I don't know if it's the original package. They probably did. They probably made copies of it. Now there's a bunch of 85-year-old men out there that look like, Pedro.
That's right.
I don't know. So anyways, mail in, but go to your polls, vote, take videos, be a poll watcher, do the important stuff. Do the stuff that is going
especially the ones at the counting locations. If you are called upon to be a judge or whatever they call them, I know some places call them judges, some places whatever, but you're there to view.
They do.
Take pictures. And if they tell you to stop taking pictures and you see something going on, you got to do something. Try and stop it.
Man. Call your local authorities. Do whatever you got to do, and video them. I mean, if there's an issue with that too. So,
Greg Stenstrom and Leah Hoops, who wrote the book about the 2020 election in Pennsylvania, they had video. They had actual video evidence of people destroying evidence.
They won a case. The only ones to win a case on election fraud in this nation.
And so it's out there, folks. It's out there. It really is.
Sure is.
So,
at any rate, I don't know what that is coming down at the bottom. Did you put something down there, buddy? Oh, okay. Anyways, it's not for anybody to see. Let's move on, Jim. You got California's going crazy. Why am I hearing feedback, bro?
Okay. I just removed it.
Okay.
I don't know why that popped up unless somebody wants us to watch it. I don't know.
I don't know how that happens. Maybe somebody does. Hit us up in the
messing with us.
hit us up probably. Son of a gun, Anyways, Jim, tell us about the craziness that's going on in California.
There's
everybody wants the pronouns to be taught to our children, and
this is quite scary.
It is,
and I don't, and I'm gonna.
But it's California.
I'm gonna play something real quick to show you what kind of a mess California is. It's a quick 1 minute video. This is kind of talk about the voter registration. We'll clean that up and then we'll go on. So let's go ahead and listen.
The idea that someone would actually vote illegally with the penalties that are in place.
It happens all the time, Senator. It happens all the time. You're just saying it's not widespread. But I'm saying we don't know how spread it is because we don't detect it. I'm on the website for the state of California to register to vote. On the section that has where you put in your driver's license, your last 4 of your social, there's a box underneath each one that says, I don't have one. I don't have one. And then you're allowed to proceed to go to vote. So this idea that you're not allowed to register to vote unless you present some sort of identification is not accurate. It's not true. It's not being implemented in the state of California. Additionally, people are being registered to vote at the DMV. And we already know based on audits that the DMV has improperly registered people to vote, including illegal immigrants. And we have immunity in place that says if the DMV registers someone who is not eligible, they're immune for prosecution. So I don't believe we have sufficient safeguards in place that detect and prevent people from committing voter fraud.
Unbelievable, right?
Yeah, we just got to
California, but not unbelievable. But go on.
That little Trump is currently on stage right now with the Patriots prayer, Michaela.
Oh, really?
That was that little update there. So
cool. Cool. Yeah, thank you. All right. Didn't know what that was.
So. Yeah, so that was, and he apologized because, we're new. We don't know what the heck's going on. All this stuff. But, okay, so from that kind of wrapped up the voter registration because there's nothing to see here, folks, nothing to see. There's no issues.
It's not widespread.
California Senate approves ban on requiring schools to notify parents of child's pronoun changes. We see this. We're seeing it all over the place, folks. I think one of the worst ones was Minnesota, where you could literally take a child from Indiana, drive them all the way to Minnesota, and you are free of prosecution as long as you're in Minnesota.
Correct.
So that teacher or whoever that person is that brings them up there can kidnap, bring them up there, and no prosecutions. Now, they don't want to come back to Indiana because then they would. But that's what Minnesota's doing. So maybe California's heading there too.
Correct.
But California Senate approves ban on requiring schools to notify parents of child's pronouns changed by Sophie Austin Associated Press report of the American. Okay, so those who reported it. School districts in California will be barred from requiring teachers to notify parents if their child asks to go by a new pronoun at school. Under a bill the state legislature is weighing amid legal battles over the rights of parents and gender nonconforming students. Stop there. What they're saying is if a female student wants to be known as he or wants to change his name to Dale, her name to Dale, parents aren't to know about that.
Not even to know.
They don't, not even to know this is what's going on.
This is what the group, this is what groups Moms for Liberty are fighting for. You know,
and they're fighting
kind
like
of
crazy.
nonsense.
They're being demonized and they're not. They're some of the most
amazing people on
honorable individuals on the planet. We've met them. We know who they are. We know who they are. We've been to 2 of their summits. But this is what they're fighting for. And but they approve the changes. Guys, just imagine you have a child that is going to school, no matter what state you're in. And you're talking to this child, you're you know something's going on, but you don't quite know what's going on. And you call the school to say, hey, is there anything going on in school that I need to know about that my child, they don't have to tell you that this child is going through dysphoria of some kind, or they want to do this, or they don't have to tell you. So as a parent, how are you supposed to help your child if they're not being honest with you?
Correct.
So again, it's taking parents out of the equation.
It's the Marxist Lenin way. We control your children. We control the future. That's exactly the plan. It's written. It's known. This is exactly their plan. And that's they're the most.
California AB 655 is the.
That's it.
Is the bill. And
wow.
The issue is personal.
It passed, or they're just debating it.
It passed. It approved the proposal Thursday, which would ban. I believe it goes to Governor Newsom's desk, and folks, he's going to. We know what he's going to do.
Buffoon, yeah.
But it basically says having a trusted adult is paramount to ensuring a queer kid makes it to their next birthday. Here we are. Right?
Here we go.
Here we are again. This is how
suicide,
we do it. When we know that statistics have proven more suicide happens after the fact, not all that. It's the other side around is when they start taking the medication, when they start transitioning, when most of the suicide. But they don't want to tell you that because it totally ruins what they're.
And a German study just found out that if you give it 5 years, they grow out of that whole wanting to transition.
Yep, we did that. Just that.
Yep.
So basically, it's part of a nationwide debate over school districts and the rights of parents and LGBT.
Whatever.
Saying that. Just LGB students. States across the country have sought to impose bans on gender affirming care, bar trans athletes from girls in women's sports, and require schools to out trans and non-binary students to their parents. I not out them. Come on. That's not. They need to let the parents know this is what the child's going through. So a friend of the show that we know very well, we interviewed, we followed her story, January Littlejohn. Her child was going through this in school, and she knew nothing about it.
But
once she found out, she got her child the proper help, proper assistance. Now she is a fully functioning girl.
Yes,
which she was to begin with.
God intended.
And she's heading that way, and she's fine. Shame on the school who did this. Even though we have a history teacher that are one of our favorite history teachers, we haven't talked about him in a while, but he likes to say, "There's nothing going on here. This isn't happening. They're just making it up. It's happening.
It's happening,
and it's terrible. And
it's happening in places you wouldn't even think it would happen.
Yeah. So, folks, you as a parent, now I know there are shitty parents out there. I get it. I completely understand.
Joe and Jill Biden, for instance.
Yeah. So you got to just pay attention on this, and you know how many Billboard Chris. Right. Somebody that we've also met with through the Moms for Liberty group.
He's Canadian.
He made a really nice comment one time about dysphoria in children and children. Okay.
Yeah.
So we made an interesting point. Maybe the child's just gay.
Yep.
Maybe the child's just gay.
Yep.
So
Maybe. Are we supposed to play that video? Are we supposed to?
I think so. So let's
let's click on it and say, it only allows me to remove.
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't tell me to.
Yeah.
It doesn't allow me to click on it.
Yeah. Sorry, Eddie. We're not. We're new.
Yeah, and it's just telling us to remove. It's not telling us to. But anyways, guys, that's more behind the scenes stuff.
But that is kind of cool, though, that there is an individual on the prayer, the Patriots Prayer.
Yep.
Podcast network, Michaela. So great job. Hopefully,
someday. And she's on Trump. She's on stage with Trump right now. Is it live right now? Yeah, I can't. For some reason, it just tells me to remove.
So, folks, this is what's going on, and I know a lot of people who just started watching us. We have talked a lot about this type of thing. We've had a lot of guests on. We've actually had a detransitioner on the show that went through everything, and this is what we're dealing with. It's right or wrong, whether I agree with it or not. If you're over the age of 18 and you pay for it yourself, whatever. I don't think you should. I think something's wrong. I think you need to get professional help,
and that's been proven too.
But you're an adult.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's the children. They're not smart enough. They just can't comprehend what is going on. They just can't. So now you're asking them to change
You wanted to be a moose when you were younger. Did they put horns on you? I mean, like, there's that whole scenario.
Well,
right?
I mean, you got we all wanted to be something, that wasn't normal. And our parents did not send us to, oh my God, here's what's going on and everything else. And if a boy played with a toy, or a girl wanted to go out and play baseball with the boys who didn't want to wear dresses, can you imagine that today?
And here, so I feel no, you couldn't. And so I feel mass shooters. I feel they clearly are mentally disturbed. We can almost all agree on that, right?
Yep.
That a mass shooter, for the most part. Having said that, can we not then agree that a transgender has something mentally disturbing about him? This story: transgender Utah woman shot parents dead, told police she'd do it again. An armed and dangerous transgender woman, and I can't tell whether I don't know which way they're going. It confuses me. Of gunning down her parents in their Utah homes, spurred an hours-long manhunt this week, telling authorities she would do it again after her capture. Maya Bailey, 28, was arrested Wednesday and charged with 11 felony counts related to the double homicide of parents Joseph, 70, and Gail Bailey, 69, and the attempted murder of her brother, according to the Washington City Police Department. Quote, "We have some good news. We have the suspect in custody," St. George police officer Tiffany Mitchell announced in a Facebook Live broadcast, telling residents of the Bloomington Hills and Fort Pierce they were no longer urged to shelter in place. Everybody is safe. No one else is injured. I mean, this is a dude becoming a girl. This is a transgender. And I'm certain the parents were not great with this, right? I'm sure they were not perfectly happy with this, as who would be as a parent. But you'd want to get them help. Now, I don't know the backstory, but he was mental enough to go through the transition, which should have been diagnosed and straightened out ahead of time, I believe. And then even more so, and maybe due to hormones and everything else they're pumping into this dude wanting to be a girl, you go crazy. What's roid rage? What was that? What happened there? Same thing, maybe. And guns down his parents. I'm not calling him or her. That's just another example, Jim, of that. I want to move on real quick, Jim, to we did a story about a 14-year-old girl who had AI generated nudes created and passed around her school before it was caught. It says so kind of a follow-up to that was on our other. Now this is kind of our first episode on this Patriots podcast channel. So Dorota Manny says her 14-year-old daughter Francesca was one of several female students at Westfield High School in New Jersey whose photo was used by another classmate to create the pornographic images using AI. Didn't see this coming when AI. Never saw any of this coming, right? Now, that's not a story, but the White House will sit here and talk about how Biden's been AI generated to freeze up. Okay, deep fakes. While the girls and the school were made aware of the incident in October, the images were shared last summer. Manny told Fox News Digital that she filed a police report and has been in contact with Westfield High over the incident. As a fellow educator, Manny expressed being dissatisfied with the way her daughter's school handled the situation, saying it was at best incompetent. However, the New Jersey mom said she is done crying about it and is ready to take proactive steps to protect other victims of AI abuse. She has taken her daughter's story to the New Jersey Republican State Senator John Bramnick and to U.S. Rep. Tom Keene, Republican out of New Jersey, to get legislation regulating AI passed at the state and federal level. Senator Bramnick told Fox News Digital he is working on a bill with Republican State Senator Kristen M. Corrado to create penalties for deep fake pornography, which he calls a serious breach of the law. Now, AI, Jim, AI has been around for a little while. Am I wrong? But not to the extent where it's at now and not being used as it is now. We have to create laws now because the technology will always create a problem. Social media, great, absolutely great plan. You know, boy, a way I can keep in contact with friends and family across the country or the world until it's not. And it becomes a cesspool and teenage girls are getting bullied and they're committing suicide. That's the real suicide rate, is the social media bullying that they don't talk about, the news media. So technology is great up until the point where it's not, every single time. And AI is going to be the same way. And now there's going to be laws created, and there's going to have to be, whoever creates those should be going to prison. I don't know if they did. I don't know what happened. They probably got suspended. They're minors, first offense stuff. But all the while, this girl's life's ruined because of it. Just absolutely makes me mad. But Jim, I just wanted to kind of briefly go over that because the whole AI thing is just kicking off, and the technology frightens me. When are you going to be? You might be AI'd right now for all I know. Look at you. You look at the board. Was that
no AI? I mean, I know all these individuals talk, and we always like to joke. You know, we know a movie that maybe that's not a good idea to do AI because, you know, the Terminator and stuff like that. But you know, it's all that. It's all good. But there's some things that could go seriously wrong, and this is one of them. I mean, really, I mean, this is one of them. And we can't ask this administration to protect children because they don't protect children anyway.
Yeah.
They don't.
The old
they
sniffer and chief is not going to protect children.
Outside of that, they don't protect children. You can mutilate them all you want to. They don't care.
They don't.
As long as you get the money, because it's all about the money.
Correct.
That's what it's all about.
That is correct. Jim, what do you have? You got. Well, go on. I'm sorry. Do you have something you want to do? Another quick commercial, or do you want to go ahead and just tell your story and then do it?
Nope. Let's do a commercial.
This is the product I'm going to buy. I swear to God. Yeah. And everybody else should. This is pretty cool, dude. So, listen to this. We'll be right back.
No fabric softener. Now you even threw away all the chemicals to clean your home. I don't need to buy spray to cut through grease. I don't need to buy window cleaners. I don't need to buy carpet shampoo. I don't need to buy things to mop my floor. I don't need to buy things to take pesticide off my vegetables, fruits, and fish. Oh my gosh, where did this come from? I'll tell you where it came from. It came from hospitals. This is actually a photo of a huge commercial hospital laundry technology that cost in excess of $100,000 if you bought that whole thing, and it'll fill up your garage. That's how big it is. And what we've done with the advent of microelectronic technology, my team and I constantly use microtechnology just like your smartphone. The new EcoWasher SE is a chemical-free laundry and cleaning solution. Imagine, no more detergent, no more chemicals, saves you money, pays for itself, gives you a healthier life, and simplifies doing laundry. And now we're going to include 2 free Thunder Pure Safe Air Minis that purifies your home and sanitizes your surfaces like a thunderstorm in nature, eliminates all odors. Plus, you're receiving $100 off by using code podcast on the new EcoWasher SE. Let me remind you, 2 free Thunder Pure Safe Air Minis plus $100 off during this podcast. Podcast is your coupon code at
So what's the website, Jim, for eco-friendly? Because I think it just
it's
cut it off, didn't it?
ecowasher.com.
Eco-washer?
ECO. Ecowasher.com.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you. That product looks amazing. Supreme Court upholds federal restraining orders. That decision that just came in from the Supreme Court. So I'm kind of giving some headlines here.
You kind of cut out a little bit. Say that again.
Huh? Oh, did it?
Cut out. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. So Supreme Court upholds federal ban for those under domestic violence restraining orders.
Okay.
So the Supreme Court today, just now, upheld a federal law that bans guns for those subject to domestic violence restraining orders in the first major test of the Second Amendment at the High Court this term. In an 8-1 opinion authored by Chief Justice Roberts, the court's majority said, "We conclude only this: an individual found by a court to pose a credible threat to a physical safety of another may be temporarily disarmed, consistent with the Second Amendment." Justice Clarence Thomas was the lone dissenter. Both liberal and conservative justices agreed, well, not all of them, with the Biden administration that there was a history and tradition of keeping firearms from dangerous persons, despite the lack of any specific ban that may have been in place when the Constitution was enacted in the 1790s. Jim, what do you think of the ruling there? And the fact that Justice Thomas was the only dissenter from the decision?
I don't.
You don't have a.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it, and I'm not going to comment because one way or the other. So,
what are you worried about?
No, opinion? Are you honest? If a person is.
No. I get it. There's a catch-22, Jim. I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
There's certain people that shouldn't have guns. I mean, I'm sorry. I get it. They shouldn't be allowed. So I'm just.
Well, okay. So you got the whole felon thing. If you're a felon, you can't, I mean, there's already that kind of stuff in place. But let me tell you, is it convicted domestic abusers? Or is it somebody who's been accused of it?
I
don't know.
You have to have a difference, because when you get a restraining order against an individual, is it legit? I get it. I completely understand, folks. I really do. But a lot of times there are legit. They are legit out there, and so in this,
I agree.
Look, the Second Amendment is it's just a big, right? I mean, we can get into a lot of issues. I am pro Second Amendment, but I do think there should be people who should never be allowed to own a gun.
That's your opinion, and that's a good opinion, Jim. Don't ever be afraid to say it. I know what you're worried about. Oh my gosh, Jim, the viewership just dropped by 300 after you mentioned that. No, just kidding. It did not. Anyways, our boy's in here. What's he doing?
Yeah.
Did you want us to come on the show, Eddie? You want to pop on?
Oh shit, why not?
I don't know. When I click on your box, so people who know, it says remove. Like, I don't know how to get you to show up on screen.
Let's see.
Yeah, it just does remove. I'm only allowed to kick you out, brother.
You just got to change the layout, brother.
Oh, do I? To three people.
Right. Hold on.
That's what we need.
There we are.
There you are.
There he is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. Why is Jim bigger? Why did that happen?
I don't know. Hold on.
Now, don't worry about it, man.
There we are.
Yeah.
There we go.
There's our man. Here's our man, Eddie. We put you on the spot, brother. Thank you for coming on.
No, you're all right, brother. I was noticing that the stream wasn't going over to Rumble. So
nope.
Trying to fix it in the background, and I did. So that was me popping in and out. Yeah, I fixed it.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, I see it up there.
This is why we need. Yep. Yeah, this is why you're the brainchild behind the whole podcast network and everything else. Jim and I started our 9:30 live promptly at 9:46. So after we tried to figure it out, so.
They love
the recording.
They'll wait.
Yeah, they'll wait. I know.
It was a problem with recording. It was the recording portion of it. That's where we
did. Yeah, starting the recording to record it in the background. So, but anyways, Eddie, thank you. We appreciate it. Hope all is well with you.
Yeah,
looks very nice out there today.
This is my yard.
Yeah,
I like it. Welcome
That's
to
the entire Vegas skyline right there.
That's nice. Yeah, that's very nice. Wow. What are the temperatures there, brother?
Hell.
Indiana, where I live in Indiana.
Yeah, it's hell in Indiana too. It's actually quite pleasant in Florida today. So I'm like, what are y'all bitching about? It's super nice.
Man, listen, it gets to, I mean, you get in your car out here, it gets to be 120, 130 degrees.
Yeah, that's insane.
But it's a dry heat.
Yeah, dry heat. Yeah. Dry heat you right up your,
That means, you know what that means? No cool breeze.
Yeah.
No cool breeze.
No cool breeze. You roll the window down, it's hot air.
Yeah.
It's not cool air.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about the forced transitioning of children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's sick, right? Have you guys studied AB 665?
Yeah. Is that which one is that?
Yeah.
Assembly Bill 665 is the one in California.
Yeah, I think it might be the one we were talking about.
We've talked about
There's a Minnesota one, there's a Washington one, and then there's a California one.
The Minnesota one's sick.
Sick. I mean, absolutely.
So the one in California, if a child goes to their counselor in their school and says, "Hey, I want to transition, and my mom and dad are not with this," they place them in a home, and they don't tell the parents where they put them.
Yeah.
And if you take the kid from Texas to California to affirm it, and you could kidnap the kid, take it to California to affirm its gender or what it thinks is its gender, and the state will give sanctuary to the kidnapper.
Yep. Unbelievable, isn't it?
Because that's Minnesota. I think that was the first state that came across and did that. And then, I wasn't sure if California had that in there or not, but thank you for clarifying that because we figured it was a matter of time before California did it as well. Assembly
Bill. If anyone wants to look at it, we're not making this up. The people of California have even dubbed it the kidnapping bill, and it's called AB 665. Well, New York has a bill, not necessarily about children, but just as bad, called NY 213. It was originally passed. They appealed it, got it repealed, and then Letitia James took it back to court and had it reinstated. Now, what NY 213 is, for those of you guys who want to do the research and find out, it's a quarantine bill. And the quarantine bill, what it allows them to do is say, hey, go quarantine Dale and Jim.
Yeah.
Oh, do they have some type of COVID or super COVID or whatever the hell else we've created? So they come to your house. They can quarantine you. You do not have to be tested first, or be positive for anything to be quarantined. The way that the bill is written, you can't just be let out of quarantine if you test negative. You can be put into quarantine while testing negative. You're in quarantine for an indeterminate amount of time. It is up to those who put you there. And it's not in your home. It's at a place of their choosing. So imagine this. You say some things on here that Democrats don't like, I imagine, right?
Yeah, I imagine.
I'll say a few.
You get someone like Letitia James who investigates people instead of crimes.
Correct.
Yep.
And next thing you know, you're in quarantine. Well, he's not arrested. He didn't break any laws. We quarantined him legally.
Unbelievable. Under the guise of a COVID diagnosis or something? Is it under the guise of some sort of medical diagnosis?
No,
doesn't even have to be.
And that's the crazy part. There are no criteria you have to meet in order to be quarantined, and no criteria you have to meet in order to be let out. It was never defined in the bill, which was the original reason for the appeal of the bill. So somehow or another, when Letitia James went back to court on it, she got a friendly judge, and they put it back in place.
Has it been used yet? Have they used it yet that we've heard of?
Would we know?
How would we know? Maybe?
Yeah.
Good point.
Would we know if the people that they used it on are still wherever they are? We wouldn't know.
Jeez, oh man,
wow.
We just wouldn't know. Just like the Patriot Act or the Victory Act or the Patriot Act 2 or the NDAA, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If any of those laws were ever used against an average citizen, we would never know, because the provisions in each of those laws give the military right to perform a secret tribunal and put you in a prison without ever acknowledging you exist.
Correct. Yep. Yep, it's unbelievable.
The United
In
States
America.
of America.
In
Yep.
America. In
America.
America. Yep, unbelievable. Eddie, we want to tell people that are listening, and most of them know you, but maybe ones that came from us and over to here, that that you are the co-host of the Patriots Prayer podcast, along with Maurice. You two are the brainchilds behind the whole network, the family of network. Who tell everybody who's on this network and when your show specifically.
It's a long list now.
It is now. It's getting long. You got to memorize
list now. So okay, of course, you guys, Maurice and myself, for the Patriots Prayer. We have Elena Barbera, who was talking about these subjects. She's the authority.
Yep.
She made a movie called The American Groomer, and my God, if anyone hasn't watched it, if you're because you guys are Patriot Prayer listeners, if you go to americangroomerfilm.com, I believe, because we didn't even post that out there, but she just made that. So if you go there, you guys can watch this movie for free.
Nice.
americangroomerfilm.com. And so you got her, and you have Alexandra Levine, who is the granddaughter of the second prime minister of Israel. Let me be more specific. Her family were the ones who helped reestablish Israel after the war. Then you have Nate Kane, who was the one who testified against Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
They actually, the FBI targeted his family. And no joke, this man they tried to kill him. He actually ended up in the hospital twice during this whole time. Sneaking classified material out of the FBI to Kash Patel. It reads like a spy novel, right?
Wow.
So he ran for Congress, and he was actually endorsed by Mike Flynn. Look out, Mike Flynn will actually be appearing on his show soon as well.
Good.
Then you have Seth Eisenberg for the conservative corner. And Seth is just a political authority, man. The guy's just got that kind of logic that just draws you in the way that he explains the story. Seth is a beast. And then you have Jay Andrews, who is a national leader of Blexit, blacks exiting the Democratic plantation, as they say it. And then you have his wife, Nicolette, as well, and hers going to be called Sweet Savage, because she's such a little thing when you see her, and then when you get her talking about these issues and about the Democrats and the left and what they're doing, all of a sudden she's like 10 feet tall. And then you have Michaela. Michaela is the one that everyone has seen a million times probably on the TV with Trump on stage. And, we were just in Detroit with Michaela hanging out. And everyone around this girl was star-studded. I mean, I can't believe she used to be like right here where I'm at. She used to sleep on my couch every week.
Yeah.
Right. A little knobby-kneed little girl playing in the sprinklers out back with my daughter.
Yeah.
But so now here she is, she's surrounded by, rappers and TV stars and, the president, and she's the national leader of Blexit as well. Guys, if you know and watched or are familiar with who Diamond and Silk is, this is like that 2.0. Like, it's so. Listen, we got the native perspective, the Jewish perspective. We have people coming at this from every angle. We have a special forces guy who we're talking to right now about bringing. Oh, and I forgot, damn it, Damon. I'm sorry. Damon and Eric are going to be doing a weekend show with us. Damon was Damon sent me a video the other day, right? They ousted the Rhino in New Jersey. They rigged the elections by putting people in columns. So you think you're voting for all the Republicans, but they have column A, B, C, D, E stuff going on. It's crazy. Yeah. So they basically, they allow people to buy column A so that they get elected.
Wow.
So if everybody has watched the news, Norcross and his family just got caught racketeering. Like,
correct.
Criminal enterprise deal going on. Well, that's who Damon was trying to get at. But because of this county line situation, And what was funny about this county line situation that Damon was up against is that the judge deemed it unconstitutional, but only for the Democrats. Only for the Democrats.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So he sends me a video. They vote out the county chair, the one who's rigged the election by doing this, by making people think that they're voting for the right person because of what column she put them in. And so he gets her ousted as the county chair, and so he sets up this big blow up rhino outside of the. He sets it up. Man, hold on, guys, you got to see this. I'm gonna play it.
Okay.
I'm gonna play it. It's masterful, dude. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we definitely need more of. Here we go. It's right here. Give it a second to upload. And what you're going to see is he's going to explain what's going on first, but he put this giant blow up rhino outside of the facility, and he had her face kind of taped all over it. And when she walks out, the fireworks go off, and then Damon's just walking away in slow motion with with middle fingers blaring. All was masterful, dude. Like, get your ass out of here. Like, watch. Getting ready to come up now. It's getting ready to come up now. Almost done. Yeah, the phone controls for this are a little different than the computer, but
I noticed that on
I've gotten them down pretty good. It's just processing now. It's only a about a minute and a half video. Here it goes. Here it goes.
There it goes.
Watch this.
All right.
Hey everyone, the following video you're about to see is me standing up against New Jersey's county line rule for primary elections. My name is Damon Galdo, and I recently ran for Congress in New Jersey's 1st Congressional District. New Jersey Republicans are their only, and I mean the only party beholden to the county line in the country. I am a Republican, and the county line was deemed unconstitutional by a federal judge, but only for Democrats. Only unconstitutional for Democrats, so go figure. That's good. That's the time that we live in. So this video is me having fun after taking part in ousting the Gloucester County Republican chair. And the reason I did that is because she's a rhino, but she was replaced with a true grassroots conservative Republican that wants to get rid of the county line. She fought for the county line for power, but for the sake of time, just go to patriotsprayer.com, listen to the May 24th podcast explaining what the county line is and how it's misleading to voters and why it is actually unconstitutional. But enjoy the video.
Pretty badass.
Yeah, pretty badass. Pretty badass. And Damon, he's doing he was on the 24th, but I mean, is he doing he's on the line?
Yeah, him and Eric
nice.
Both will be doing a podcast with us. And their podcast is called Politically Badass.
Love it.
So you already know the attitude that they're coming into.
Yep.
So it's going to be something to see, and we can't wait. So we are we're making a lot of moves. We're making it really fast. We're the only podcast network that exists. Period. Nobody else does this. No, there's not. You can't even see the Daily Wire does this. The Daily Wire does everything on Daily Wire. You don't have a Daily Wire channel with podcasts going all day long. That doesn't happen. Nobody's ever done what we're doing.
Yep.
So, it's a lot of people are taking notice. I've gotten calls from very big companies already that are kind of picking my brain on what we expect it to be and how they can get involved. And wanting us to help them get out the vote and take part in these national campaigns.
That's
and
important.
Working out details, and it's just something that I guarantee you it won't be long before it's imitated. But we're the first ones to have done it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we thank you again. We thank you for asking us and allowing us to come on.
That was an easy decision. Man.
Well, we appreciate it, man. We really. Hey, wait, is that a picture of you with hair back there? With more hair?
Up there.
Oh, there. Is that? Okay. On it when you went by. Beautiful picture.
Oh yeah, we were on a cruise years ago. Back when my daughters were little sweet little girls before they turned into the monsters they are now.
Eddie, man, well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna close out our show. I don't think there's anything else more we can say. We appreciate you hopping on. We appreciate you and Maurice, all that you've done. This is kind of officially our first show. We kind of wanted to do a practice run. We will be back Monday at
I want everyone to know
Eastern.
real quick before I get off. Everyone remembers the Media Matters situation with Elon Musk.
Oh yeah.
Took care of what we're going to have the lawyer on our show.
Nice.
On Wednesday.
Oh, good. Cool.
And so if anybody wants to know the real story, what's going on, what's happening really in Arizona politics, what's happening with that situation, watch the show.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And we do have some questions for you. Just a few more things about setting certain things up. So when you have a moment, we would like to finish that up. And then once that's done, I think we're good to go.
Yeah. Once I get you guys learning how to build the episode in Rumble first before you come over.
Yeah.
That's all. That's
okay.
All. So I did it like kind of a real quick thing. So I'll have to go back later and edit it. But at least now, hey, stop chewing that.
Yeah. I can relate.
My God, she's so sweet, but she's such a menace.
Yeah.
But yeah, once I get you guys learning how to do the Rumble setup, and I'll go in and edit it later so it has the correct stuff. Did you? I'll talk business after.
Afterwards.
There's some things that you guys got to fill out that I sent you.
Okay.
Just to make sure you get your stuff set up for the.
Yep.
So you can get some money. How about that?
Yeah, really. What's that? What is
that? The other thing we had real quick, and we might as well ask you this, so it kind of prepares you for what we're going to ask you. When you were copying and pasting the follow us on this, follow us on that, and then all the sponsorships
links for the sponsors.
That you had, where do we get that into
previous episodes?
Okay. And then we put it on the new, like for Podbean,
from everything that says sponsored by down. It's just that.
Just a copy and paste.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything's just sponsored by down, and then whatever your description is goes above it.
Yeah, perfect. So once it's on this, we'll have a previous episode technically, and so then it'll be we can copy and paste from there.
And I went and I freed up space for you. But
Thank you.
I don't know if it was too late for it to record or not. So.
Yeah, I know. I think so. I think we got it. I said we were, so I think we're good. But we'll figure all that out.
Thank you.
Afterwards. But Maurice, you're the best, man. I mean, honestly, thank you so much again. We appreciate you on the spot hopping on here. We weren't prepared.
Saturday at 11 o'clock, guys. That's the one. Don't miss that. We're gonna have everybody together at one time.
Is this a meeting or?
It's kind of a meet and greet of the entire network all at once, and the Q&A. I'm going to go over some of that stuff that we just talked about for everyone's edification.
Yep.
Outside of that, man, just come with your questions or anything you guys want to know, and I'll introduce you to all your other resources, which you have a lot of.
Yep. Good.
And will this be on a GoToMeeting or was this just?
No, it'll be on here like this.
On StreamYard.
It may not be live, but we're just going to be
just recording. Okay.
All right. So I'll need to, because I'm going to be off. I'll have to get it on my phone. So we'll do that.
Yeah, we could do
but I'll be in Cincinnati at a baseball game, so I'll be able to.
Cincinnati.
The game hasn't started yet, so we'll be good.
It'll be good.
I can get on it real quick, and then I can be there. So
okay.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye.